It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome back to your Feel Good Breakfast Show on this Monday morning. It is so good to be in your company. Now, of course, with the current coronavirus pandemic at play on a global level, we are living in unprecedented times where businesses, venues and schools have shut their doors, and we're all spending a lot more time than usual in our loved ones' company. Now, with limitations placed on what we can do, some people have been reporting that they've been going a little bit crazy due to all of the extra time spent with their families.
So today we are asking, has the coronavirus had an impact on your relationships? This morning we are joined by celebrity psychologist and CEO of Hidden Dimensions, Charissa Bloomberg, to help us discuss this hot topic, and we love to hear your questions and comments as well. So head on over to our Facebook page, drop a comment on this post, and we will definitely engage with you. First of all, thank you so much for joining us this morning.
Thank you. You know I love being here.
We love having you here. Now, we know what's happening in the world, especially South Africa, currently with the coronavirus outbreak, etc. And a lot of people have been given time away from work to kind of self-quarantine or social distance themselves from everyone else. And a lot of people were rejoicing that they're going to have extra time with their families, you know, more quality time with their families, loved ones and children. But now it seems like it's driving them a little bit crazy. Is it true that we are advised to have lives that allow us to be away from our loved ones for a certain period of time?
Yes. You know what, it's actually healthy to do that we need to have a breakaway, we need to have time, we need to regroup. It's healthy for every single relationship. Even if they just go to work and come back or travel for a few days, it's needed. But now suddenly everything has absolutely changed and throwing everything upside down. Psychologists say there's two things that's going to happen. Divorce rate and more babies.
Really?
Really?
Yes.
On either side of the spectrum?
Yes.
More love, less love?
Yes. Yes.
And what would be the reason that we are getting on each other's nerves? I think maybe one, because we're not used to it, but what are some of the more underlying reasons?
There's a few reasons, but can I please just say something about everybody's mindset? We're all very, very stressed of what's happening. So we need to just look at that. And when we're stressed, our bodies have changes that happen. Our blood starts pumping, our heart starts racing, we sleep less, we sleep more, we self-medicate. And if you imagine that all of this is happening, it's going to have an impact on who? The people closest to us, our loved ones. So maybe you're working at home and frustrations are just going to escalate until huge arguments. Maybe you're working in the same room. Maybe your partner's on the phone talking loudly and you need some thinking space. Maybe the kids are screaming. Maybe you can't separate in another room. Maybe one wants aircon if you're lucky enough to have aircon, other wants it off.
Sure.
So, yeah.
The smallest things become...
The smallest things can escalate and then we take our stress out. The roof blows off.
To the closest person to you.
Yes, because we all, look at our mindsets. There's so much anxiety and uncertainty, and we take it out on our loved ones. So, yeah, I really want us to look what's going on in our heads. That's crucial.
So it does place like some sort of tension in your relationship, because you also now have to deal with those finer things. But also on to the other side, while a lot of people are practicing social distancing, some are self-quarantining and are showing symptoms. But let's say it's your partner. For example, Idris Elba and Sabrina. Sabrina recently tested positive because she says she just wanted to take care of him to a point where now she's affected by it. How do you then suggest how to take care of each other as a couple?
That's very difficult. If one is positive and maybe they're at home, we're not talking about overseas, they're at home, one's in the next room and you not. You know, you don't want the person to feel like they're ostracized and like, you know, you've got the plague and we don't want to come near you.
Yes.
So you've got to help them to feel loved, but from a distance. And, you know, even text them, send them messages, even if you're in the next room, send them love, send them WhatsApp messages, send music, send relaxation techniques. Let them know that you're loved. And for yourself to actually self-care, that's a big word. Take care of yourself so that you can take care of others.
Yeah, and of course, I think practicing what the World Health Organization has suggested in terms of hygiene and maintaining that in the household as well in order to limit the possible transmission of the virus.
Exactly. I didn't even mention that. I'm just assuming that's what we're all doing. But yes.
Absolutely. All right, well, we'll continue our conversation on the other side where we ask the question how the spread of the coronavirus on a global scale and, of course, the enforcing of certain measures by government in order to stem the spread of the virus has affected your relationships with your loved ones, whether it may be family or friends or even your intimate partner. Do reach out to us on our Facebook page and let us know.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome back to your Feel Good Breakfast Show. It's a Monday morning and we're getting real with the relationships. And today, celebrity psychologist Charissa Bloomberg is in the hot seat to help us discuss the implications that social distancing and quarantining due to the current coronavirus pandemic might be having on your relationships. And we'd love to hear from you as well. All of your questions and comments are welcome on our Facebook page. Drop a comment on the post and we will engage with you over there. Good to have you back with us again. And there's lots to discuss in terms of new love that is being formed, current people that are currently in relationships and how the coronavirus pandemic is impacting their relationships. So let's start off first there. With couples that are now perhaps quarantining across international lines and now have to deal with the fact that they can't perhaps see each other. Maybe plans were made to go and visit each other in another country. How do couples then navigate this new situation, this new normal?
This new normal, exactly, you've said it. What a challenge, because we've never been in this predicament at all. So we have to be creative. So obviously everything can be virtual. We can still cook a meal together, see what I'm doing, all Facebook, FaceTime, send all the messages, but start getting onto the phone and chatting about ourselves, 20 questions. Let's play games, dare, truth, or promise. You know, we can really start having a lot of fun with this if we actually put our mind to it. But also that we can take a step back and let's start reading up about relationships. Let's start reading about sensuality, the love languages. Let's start working on ourselves. And there's a brilliant saying going around on media, and I don't know who said it. If you can't go outside, go inside. Not inside there, in the house, inside, and start working on ourselves. Yeah. And that's the best gift we can give to our partner.
Wow. So perhaps an opportunity to connect on a deeper level.
Yes, mentally.
Yes, on that note, also for new couples who have started seeing each other, who started dating, but now they need to keep a safe distance from one another and everyone else in society, you know, just to maintain their health, for example. How can they sustain their relationship because it's at a fragile stage at this point?
It's at a fragile early stage. It can either be make or break, depending on because of everything that's going out there. And if you want to go out and enjoy yourself, everything's shutting down, or you've got to maintain your
6 o'clock, yeah.
6 o'clock. And you've got to maintain your...
Quarantine hour,
yeah. You maintain your distance. So are you going to be shouting to your potential partner across the way? So also challenging. So again, I say communicate, have fun, get to know each other, talk, go online, ask questions. Just keep that connection. And it's something that we don't stop to think, oh, I'll see them, we'll chat then. But now we have to keep contact and we have to be creative. And this is a show, so I'm not going to tell you some other things that you can be creative with when you're with your partner. But do special things that's going to bring the fun back. Love them from afar, spoil them from afar, send them pizza.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
Deliver something that there's special food. Have fun.
And in terms of building our understanding on the impact on the psyche of a relationship. Let's talk about intimacy or the lack of intimacy as a result of this and what kind of impact that can have on a relationship.
Yeah, very difficult. I've got a friend and she just makes him shower all the time and sanitize and you know, we can go overboard. This can bring out such anxiety. But if we're going to step back from intimacy, I want to say it's not necessarily a bad thing. You can connect mentally. You can find out all the essential things that you didn't know. You can stop. You know, we live past each other so often and we take so many things for granted. It's not a bad thing if we step back. But only you know in your relationship how safe you feel and how if you sanitize and practice good hygiene, if you want to go ahead with the intimacy. But just be aware and be cautious. It's all new. We're all just trying to find our way. And I think that's what's making it so difficult and challenging.
I mean, we've been talking about people in relationships who are married the entire morning, but now for the singles out there who are out there to find love, for example, how can they navigate their way through this entire pandemic?
I think, you know what, there's those dating apps and I don't know, there's pros and cons for that.
Yes.
I would want to say again, self-reflect, work on yourself, get a new makeover, throw out the old clothes, go online, read books about relationships, prepare yourself. Because when the time comes, boy, you're just going to be out there and ready to slay it.
Slay it.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's also
exactly
a way of referring to it.
Yes. Work on yourselves and get ready when the person comes. Boy, you just so worked on yourself. You don't need to... throw anything at anybody else, all your old baggage onto others. Or, work
Any
on it.
suggestions of books you might have that we could read or that those can read about
I love the
relationships?
5 Languages of Love by Gary Chapman. Understand how you like to be loved. Okay.
Wow, yes, that's a very important thing.
Because there's 5 of them. I don't know if I must give them away. I must go and look them up. They are fantastic. Just know how you want to be appreciated, know how you want to be loved, so that you can ask your partner that.
Oh, wow. Okay. Let's take a look at some of the comments that you've sent through to us on our Facebook page. Colin, Eddie, Anthony says, good morning, Expresso team. It's been very hard. We still hug each other after sanitizing our hands. I still video call my girlfriend in Indonesia, who is extremely cautious at work. But no matter what, our love is still going very strong. Hashtag stay safe. Thanks for sending that through to us, of course, replying to the question of how the coronavirus pandemic has affected your relationships.
And this one comes from Enzo Kuhle Mapapu. I live 200 kilometers away from my girlfriend and I'm currently avoiding overcrowded places like bus stations. This is drifting us apart. Now that's on the opposite side of the spectrum as opposed to the other one who's saying it's making us come closer, it's drifting them apart.
So for Enzo Kuhle, what advice then would you have if being away is making them drift apart?
Do you want to know what I want to say?
Yeah.
Buy a lot of airtime and get on the phone. Making phone calls has become such a rare thing. We're all on the WhatsApp, we're all on the voice notes. Call her, tell her you miss her. Tell your partner you care about them. Speak on the phone.
In real time.
In real time.
And you know what? If airtime is too expensive, I'm pretty sure that the post office still works. Writing a letter could be one of the most romantic things that you could do. Writing it by hand, going to the post office, licking a stamp, just make sure that it's clean. No, you got to lick the stamp, Graham. Well, these days they sell stamps that you don't have to lick. You just pluck it on there and send it, and in a couple of days the letter arrives. She gets to open it and read your handwriting where you convey your undying love and all those. And then now you wait for a letter to come back. That could be a way of keeping yourselves connected.
Love that. And that's being creative, and that's showing the person you still care and you miss them. Don't just go silent.
There we go. There we go.
Yes.
Natalie Fabulosity Man says, good morning. Not badly, because we all understand that to be safe, we need to keep the distance, and this won't last forever. That's a very optimistic view, isn't it?
Yes, because we've got to understand what we're doing now is going to prepare us for later so that we can be together if we do the right thing.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Well, there we have it. We'd love to hear more of those comments from you. Let us know how the COVID-19 and coronavirus pandemic is affecting your relationships with loved ones, with friends, and even with your intimate partner on our Facebook page. And we'll be chatting some more with Charissa Bloomberg a little bit later on.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome back to your Monday morning on your Feel Good Breakfast show as we get real with relationships once again. Charissa Bloomberg in the hot seat answering the question of how, or helping you answer the question of how the coronavirus and COVID-19 pandemic is impacting your relationships with friends, with family, and with intimate partners out there. And of course, once again, we welcome all of your questions on our Expresso Morning Show SABC3 Facebook page. Do comment and let us know how you are dealing with it from a relationship point of view. And I guess one aspect of looking at it as well and questioning how we can kind of get over the challenges we're facing right now is with family structures at home. Schools are closed, children are now there. And let's offer some advice to parents and to children about how we behave in these times of restricted movement.
Yes. Firstly, I want to say, Kat, is that children pick up on our stress. We must be very, very careful what we're putting out there. We know that we're consumed with the news and we're all worried, but be very careful because some young children are going back to like bedwetting and anxiety stage. So we have to put the children at rest firstly and say there is something happening, obviously age-related, there is something happening out there. And we are going to take care of you as long as you listen to us. Okay, so yeah, very difficult to balance. Children need structure, children need routine. So do the same thing every morning. You're still going to get up, brush the teeth, get the children involved with helping the chores around the house, helping breakfast. And parents are feeling a lot of pressure to actually be teachers as well. Even, Kat, if they just do 2, say 45-minute times of educational things, whatever it is, whether it's videos, whether it's reading, whether it's going online, that's already a lot. But then we've got to be creative as well. Build the vegetable patch, do some gardening, do some crayons, do some drawing, be creative. It's a very fine balance, but put some boundaries down and discuss with your partners. What are we going to do? When's my time to work, your time to look after the kids? When? And I'm phoning a lot of single mothers who are in business, and you can hear, Charissa, please hold on. Keep quiet. You know, you hear them screaming. It's very difficult to balance it, so it's challenging.
I mean, a lot of people don't have the luxury of, you know, trying to figure out how to keep the children entertained or how to keep things intact at home, because especially people in the entertainment industry are experiencing a massive loss of income during this time. How would you then suggest people manage themselves or their stress in this time?
Now, there's a lot of us, there's thousands of us. So I don't want to say something flippant, be positive, it'll get better. We do need to be positive, I'm not undermining that. But I think that we need to look at our situation, and I've done this when I've been under hectic financial strain. Phone all your debtors, talk to them, say, listen, I can only pay you 50 Rand this month, time's tough. Put it out there so that it just eases up. I know some banks are also allowing you not to pay loans off, you know, for the next 3 months. Find out what you can do financially. And then it is a time to regroup. It's a time for us to step back and say, sure, besides making sanitizers, what else can I do? How can I be creative? What is going to bring in income? But remember, panicking doesn't help. Panicking never solved anything. So we have to first, okay, panic. And they're like, well, I'm going to breathe and relook at everything. We're all doing it. It's affecting all of us. So we're not alone.
And then finally, in summary, if you could offer some general advice about how to handle relationships effectively during these unprecedented times, as we keep calling it.
Yes. So it is a time for self-reflection. It's a time, I heard you chatting of an amazing conversation. You're saying the environment having time to breathe. Let us breathe. There's nothing we can do. Well, there's a lot we can do about it, but there's nothing we can do about the situation globally. So breathe, self-reflect. Where am I? Where am I in my career? Where am I in my life? Where am I in my relationships? Do I want to do another course? Do I want to change jobs? Take the time and use it wisely. And of course, please, integrity, do the right thing now. Do the right thing now when nobody's watching. It's going to affect you. It's going to affect your family. Sanitize. And best wishes and connect. We must start having empathy. And well done, I have to say, for Expresso. I've come in here, the sanitizers everywhere, the makeup ladies, the masks, just well done. Let's just be thoughtful and let's just be mindful. It's here for a while, and let's get out of denial and do something.
Yeah. All right. Thank you very much, Charissa. And we hope that that conversation was certainly very enlightening for you as you contemplate these times of self-isolation, self-quarantining, if you are doing that. But I think one of the most important messages that Charissa has given us this Monday morning is to connect with ourselves, work on yourself during that time where you have no other option, essentially, so that, you know, come the end of this challenge that we are all facing as humanity all around the world, you come out a better and stronger person.